Okay, let's go. I'm ready.
It's 11 o'clock, Alice.
Wow, today, no, first of all, today is so cool. Today's Wednesday in the middle of the week, right? So usually in the middle of the week, we talk about something pretty serious, okay? Serious, because, you know, otherwise we kind of loosen up a little bit, but middle of the week is something very serious. So as you know today, and we talk so much since April, okay? But if you summarize what we're talking about is for the last 4 or 5 months, plus so many shows we're doing, you noticed TCP put a tremendous amount effort into lighting technology. That's why we're to focus on today about lighting technology. If you're talking about lighting technology, we also focus on the light source, okay? Because we believe the light source eventually is going to change our life. It's make our life better. Also, it will give us multiple different purpose of the functionality, how we able to using the lights is to enhance our life. So that being said, if you look into all the technology TCP have available to all our different products, you will find out so-called TCP light source actually multiply beyond the general lighting. Not just everyday stuff, it's just beyond the general lighting. So that being said, today we want to walk you through a couple applications, talk about the difference. So today I'd like to really focus, number one, on the light source with the chips. Look at what the TCP doing today and what they're going to offer, okay, versus what's available in the market today. What's the difference? Because I believe technology sometimes has some kind of catch-22 issue. Because every time you have a new technology, it costs a little bit more money. So guess what? Every time we have new technology, always there is a dark side in the market. People come up something very inexpensive, or I would say cheap. When people using that kind of cheap stuff, try to like neutralize the benefit of the technology with high performance chips. So become a catch-22. We have to fight on the daily basis. However, I always believe in this. The more people know, the more we talk about the technology and the benefit of the technology and the differences between the high-end chips and the low-end chips, I think eventually people are going to move on. Just like iPhones, right? Remember, I still have the very iPhone 1 way back. Why? Every couple of years we change the iPhone. Why? Every year Apple releasing a new iPhone. Why? Because they put new technology, new functionality, new benefits, which we enjoy. I think iPhone does such a great job. That's why you have iPhone crazy people. They constantly change their phone every time when the iPhone releases a new version. Obviously, this is my dream, is every time we come on new technology, we want people go back to change their light bulbs. That's why sometimes people say, Alice, does LED stuff never die? Okay, the light bulb will live for 10 years. I said, that's correct, but you have to think about this. Always you have a new technology come out. We want people to enjoy the new light source better than what they used to have. Just like why today we're using LED, not using a CFL. I love our little cute CFL so much, but we move on. Why the CFL able to replace incandescent bulbs, and the incandescent bulbs replace the candlelight for exactly the same reason. So we would like to walk you through a couple things, okay? The one thing, as we talk about many times, is the solistic, okay? As you know, Leslie come out, the solistic is the name for the technology. The real technology is the CRI, okay, random color rendering index at 97 and a high with a no blue peak. We went through this many times with you guys with no blue peak because lights is part of our life. I mentioned that in the solistic show is 25 hours every day. We sleep 8 hours. You have a 16 hours with the waking 16 hours. The waking 16 hours, believe it or not, your eye is complete open. When your eyes open, you're exposed to the lighting surround you. Okay? Maybe you go outside, you do your errands for a couple hours. So you take 16 hours, you take off another 4 hours. That means every day you have 12 hours directly exposed to the indoor lighting. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter how you look at it, doesn't matter how you want to deny it, doesn't matter, you say I get used to it, but that's the fact, 12 hours. And 12 hours, you're direct exposed to this blue peak. Okay? That's why we say, when the technology is available to them. First of all, you've got to have a technology. Now, technology is available right now. We need to all together to help each other and educate the market and move ourselves into the new level and a new light source, a healthy light source, and a better light source. That's why the challenge you are in right now. Leslie, what do you think?
I was just going to say, Alice, you know, because we're talking about technology and you were relating it back to phones. And we know that there's an adoption curve.
Sure.
You know, because when the first iPhone came out, not everybody ran to the stores. Well, I did, but not everybody ran to the stores to get them. They were uncomfortable with that technology. They wanted to see how it worked out. They weren't that early adopters. So there's actually like an adoption curve when you look at new technology.
Right.
And what we wanted to talk about today was some of the new technologies that we think should get on the fast track.
Sure.
Like the solistic.
Right, because statistics, in our opinion, so obvious, right? But maybe for the public, may not be.
It's hard because it's an intangible. because you're talking about how you feel, and feelings are intangible.
Sure.
But they have so many tangible benefits.
Exactly.
You work better, you sleep better, all of that. So some of the stuff that we're going to talk about as far as lighting technology and things to do with LED chips go into intangible, tangible, and really should fast track on that adoption curve because of their unique benefits.
Right. So that being said, obviously our job is this, okay? Number one, we have the technology. Number two.
But how do we have that technology, Alex?
Okay, the technology really, because we manufacture ourselves and we teamed up with the largest, the best, like a Seoul Semiconductor or TG, they are the best of the chip companies. We in the world, we able to provide that. But you know what? Technology has two stages. Number one stage is called the real technology, which has no commercial value.
Sure, because there's all kinds of stuff out there that you're like, well,
Does
that's
that make
cool,
sense? Cool, but there's no commercial value.
I can't afford it.
Right.
Or, ooh, I don't know about that.
Correct. So in other words, when you change a real technology to a commercial value, that's what we step in because we manufacturing everything by ourselves. We understand the lighting market. We understand what you need. We understand how the lights are being distributed, how people feel. Based on that, we're able to commercialize the technology.
That's what I was going to say.
Right.
We can take a technology, a piece that we get from an LED chip supplier and say, well, how do we make that work for lighting applications?
Right.
And what do we need to do to make it work?
Right.
So Solistic technology is something that we've been working on, working through with our LED suppliers for, I don't know, 2.5 years,
almost 3 years now, right.
We've been talking about it for a while, and that's because it was a concept at first, and they had the chips, and we're like, oh, that's great, but we couldn't meet the lumen requirements.
Right.
So we said, like, go back and fix this. And then they couldn't figure out, well, that's great, you got the chip, and it's got better, it can punch more lumens, but now it doesn't manage the heat as well.
Right.
So they kept failing early.
Right.
So it took that long for us to work with them.
And then you know what?
And then it was crazy expensive.
Right. And then everything's done like Leslie said. We go through 10 times. Finally, we got the chips, we got products, everything's good, right?
We're finally there.
Too expensive.
Yeah.
So that will bring to the last hurdle is how do we drop the cost down to able to make a product affordable? So that stage is, we went through every stage. However, today, we feel, yes, we have it.
Well, we're at the finish line
Right.
from a product
We at the finish line, we have the products available. And then we get into another stages right now. We look at, now all of a sudden, the other side of the knowledge comes in. We look at all the applications at home.
Absolutely.
We look at applications at school, at the office, at assistant living.
You missed a step. We look at the products that we can put it in to put it into those applications.
Right.
Because it's a chip technology.
Right.
So we can put it in all kinds of form factors.
Right, that's what I'm saying. When you put into that to identify which products you're going to be using, you identify the application first.
Correct. Yeah, you do them in tandem.
Right, like you said, at the same time. Okay, that's why TCP is so unique today is, like I said, you know, we able to identify a technology from the beginning, even has no commercial value, and using our imagination to connect it to the lighting market and how we bring them together step by step, take very tedious 20, 30, 100 steps, eventually able to merge them together.
And this one we've gone a million steps, it feels like, because we've gone back and forth so much.
But that being said, Leslie, okay, we still have a challenge, is
educate the market.
Educate the market.
Because it's that intangible.
Because it is intangible. But you know what? I always believe in this, Leslie. I need all your guys' help to every time you bring the technology out. Okay? It's the same thing. When you talk about intangible, okay? I told you guys before, every morning I pop in the pills. You do too, okay?
A lot of people do.
Lots of people.
I take vitamins every morning.
Right, you pop in pills, okay? Does the vitamins, in my opinion, is vitamin is tangible, but how you feel, your body react is intangible. Yeah. But because you believe in it, you believe I should take a vitamin because it's in your head.
Oh, right? I've got all kinds of gifts for that.
Because of that, right, Leslie? Yeah. Because of that, every time, like what I do, when I pop in a pill, okay, and you feel better, okay? So what people said is, what if I give you a pill, there's nothing in it, okay?
Placebos.
Here we go, right? the same thing is so different from the lighting point of view, because the lighting, as we show you guys before, people do feel the difference, but they don't know how to express it.
Right.
Isn't that weird? The Celestic, people feel nice.
You feel comfortable.
But they say, I don't know, it's
Something
so nice.
feels good in
It's
here.
a good, right, but I don't know what it is. That's what I'm saying, guys. The technology eventually will run into that. But that's what we focus on. I think, you know, maybe we're the only company able to bring a technology to the market in such a fashion. And now we crossed the line, it's called finishing line now, and now we're going to do commercialize it. That's why we need everybody's help on this one. Okay, that's what we really focus on. So that's one. Okay, let's walk through a couple of things on the technology side, because you have the idea, right? This is called engagement. You have your thoughts, you have your idea. You can tell us what you think about it, and then we can tell you how we able to work together as a team with you to bring two things together into the middle. That's our specialty. For the same token, we talk about Celestic, right? Let's talk about UVC. Okay.
So this is a hot topic right now. In fact, I think we get 1 or 2 requests per day on our contact us form on our website about what do you have with UVC? What do you have that can kill germs? When is it available? All of that.
Right. Okay.
And Ellis, I think this is an important topic. I think we're going to actually do our own one-off on this alone, not just the technology.
Sure, but we just talk about
it.
Technology in general. Very quickly
today,
walk you through the general.
There's so much going on out there with near UV, UVC, UVA, UVB. How is it in the chip? What's killing germs? All of that. What's the best way to do it? Can it be on all the time? Like this is.
Yeah, but let me. I just walk very something very.
This is crazy stuff.
Very quickly, okay? Yeah. As we know today, one thing. Now, no details because we are going to another show on that.
Culture.
UVC, actually, real UVC, because there's so misunderstanding.
Real this UVC, is a huge topic as far as like understanding.
Real UVC, we're talking about 268 nanometers.
Okay.
260, 270 nanometers for the LEDs. That's what you have in here, okay? I'm not going to get into the detail. That's what it is. However, every time, like I mentioned earlier, you have a technology for that. Then 2 things are going to happen. Number 1 is I also have another tube here. This is also UVC. All right. However, this UVC using high voltage goes through the fluorescent tubes. Okay. So what happened? Would you hold this one? Look
this is LED.
This is LED. Okay. This is actually fluorescent tube. But if you put a high voltage to it without a phosphor, when you light this one up, it turns into purple and a blue. It's almost that simple. But this has been available for years.
So that's nothing new.
Nothing new. That's why we do something new on LED, right? Because LED side able to generate it. Okay.
More power.
More power at a less wattage, and also it's like easy to handle. For instance, if you look at those 2 exactly same one, right? They're almost like the same size. This is fluorescent version. This is at a 252. This is at a 269, but same size. This guy has 5 times more killing power than this guy. That's called technology.
5 times.
Okay, so later we'll have another show. Now, what I really worry about is, this is one people have to understand why. Hey, they have this, so what's the difference here, right? Number 2 is this, is you have a UVA, UVB, and UVC, especially UVA. There's so many products out there, really, I should say, abuse the technology.
They abuse the terminology. I wouldn't say abuse the technology. I'd say they abuse the terminology and people's lack of understanding what each piece means. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, but I'm looking at certain manufacturers out there. I'm really not happy what they're doing is, let's say in this guy, we'll put a 129 or 128 pure UVC in it. But people out there, when I say using the technology for UVC, but they only put in 10% of the UVC, 90% of the UVA. They still claim it as a UVC.
Because it's
That's what I'm
got
not,
the 10%.
like, people sometimes abuse that kind of concept out there, which I'm not happy about. That's linked to the second technology issue today is technology also has to be educated through us in such a fashion people can understand how the technology works. If then you can identify the difference between the technologies. You see what I mean?
Absolutely.
Does that make sense to you?
And not only that, but there's a lot of, this one I think is one of those fast tracks that I mentioned because everyone's so concerned about viruses right now. And will it kill the virus? Will it sanitize my surface? Will it, whatever you want to claim, right?
Yes.
And we get back to coronavirus specifically because of the concerns within that, but
Right.
everyday flu and, you know, all of that. I mean, everyone wants to find a solution to get rid of that, keep it clean, salmonella, whatever. And I think one of the other things that you want to come back to on that is by making a claim that you kill viruses,
Right.
it has to go through a certain level of testing. And with that, there's certain regulations and certain labeling requirements and test data that follows within those labeling requirements. So there's all kinds of stuff like to say, this is going to sanitize my surface. There's a whole step through the FDA and process that you have to go through. And you have to do 99.9% of disinfection processes in order to claim that it's going to sanitize your surface. However, there's a lot of other stuff where it breaks down the DNA of the unit or any unit.
But that's the thing is what you're holding here is if I have a 268 nanometers UVC in it, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, people claim they can do exactly the same way here. They only put in 20 of the UVC, 26. They put another 100 of the UVA. All of a sudden, they claim this product as a UVC product because the moment they put one chip of the UVC in there, at the
They're saying it's UVC.
It's a UVC.
And then they're saying that it's sanitizing your
That's
surface,
what I'm saying.
and they're making all
They're
kinds
not saying
and that's where I
technology has
said-
to be educated.
And not
okay?
only that,
Right.
but education on the terminology
Right.
and what goes around that terminology.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot, that's why this is its own life force session.
Right. So
Because there's so much around this and what's going on. And we've kind of been developing and watching at the same
sure,
time.
but TCP approach is very simple.
Right.
We tell you straight. When we have any products available, we tell you exactly what's in it.
What's in it?
Very simple. Then through the knowledge, the exchange of knowledge of technology, you know, okay, you should ask a simple question. Is every single LED you put in is a 269 and a pure UVC? Answer is yes. Now you know, match so-called the technology
And
available out there.
I just want to show something, and I know this is off script and crazy and all of that, but I want to show two things, Alice, because this relates, and you're going to yell at me because you're going to say, stop talking about that. These are
Regular.
SMDs. So this is, you know, from our factory. This is actually our magnetic retrofit strip, one of them, but you can see the little diodes on there, and each individual one is its own game of yellow and that, right? There's one thing when I was holding this product that you'll notice within here on all the diodes that are within our UVC product here.
No phosphor on it.
They're completely gold because there's no phosphor. There's no
Why is it being gold? Because the 268 is so powerful, you will destroy all the plastic or any other material.
Right.
You have to be using the gold or other high-end metal piece in order to make this survive.
to make this chip work.
This is, the base is gold, right?
Anyways,
That's another way to
Again,
how you make.
we're talking technology today, and
Right.
I know we went on a bit of a tangent here with this.
But
UVC,
again, it's a
but I think
knowledge.
it's important because, like, and just showing some different lighting technology. I mean, yeah, we were talking about solistic LED
Sure.
chips, and we talked about the coating and the sources of that, and then we get into UVC, and we were talking about high-powered fluorescent versus LED.
Correct.
And I think it's important that people see the difference between just your regular LED chip, especially when you're going out to make a purchase. Like maybe you're buying one of these gizmos because you want to have one at home with the wand, right?
Exactly.
Like is that really doing anything for you? So that's going to be a whole different session because that's.
But that's again.
We could probably rant for 2 days
but
on
the
that.
technology is education.
That goes back
is,
to that technology.
Right, but what is the real technology? It's very simple,
Right.
okay? Okay, let me say this. You have the real one, you have a fake one. It's simple as that. All we want to do is through the education process, identify the technology so you will understand. We all understand what is the real one, what is the fake one. Because the fake one out there just causes us a lots of problems.
Well,
sometimes say, oh, so and so, right? So and so have it's only 1/10 of the pricing. Yeah.
Sure.
How many UVC 260 they put inside? So, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, but through the education, we all understand the differences.
Exactly. And that's where, it's important.
Yeah.
It's important to know. It's important to look at. It's important to see.
Okay.
And it's important for us to be able to explain it.
So for the same token, let's move on to the grow light.
Grow lights.
Grow light has the same issue today. Because when you talk about grow light, you're talking about energy, which is a full-time. Okay, when we talk about full-time is you want to have whatever you grow, you want to have as many crops as possible. That means we want to have the energy. Okay, so usually like people said, people using metal halide, people using mercury light, people using high pressure sodium light, all those things try to grow things. But these days we're using LED. However, the technology of the LED inside are so different from chip point of view because different manufacturing process deliver different level of the photon, which deliver different level we call the PPE, like lumen per watt. So if you look at our have here, it's like a lumen per watt on the grow light. You have 3 or 2.5 or 2.3 or 1.9. 1.9 is a DLC standard today.
Okay.
You have to hit a 1.9. Okay.
So that's the minimum.
That's the minimum. Okay. But the best one is 3. So 3 has a 3 technology, 2.5 technology, 2.3 has a 2.3 technology.
And that relates back to the energy or the PPE.
It's a PPE. It's a photon. How you
push the
deliver the energy down. Because remember, the plant, not us, plant has no eye, so they cannot see the lights. All the plant able to do is feel the energy. Okay.
And
so
the energy typically comes from the sun.
But
we're creating the sun.
Correct.
Bringing it inside.
Correct. Okay. So sometimes people say, "Oh, I have a light. I have a basic light bulb, this and that." Yes, look like a red, or look like.
Sure.
But does it really grow? How fast it grow? Not really. That's why the technology we have in today, we're educated through the people. Say, okay, you're getting this product with a PPE at a 3, or that product PPE at a 2.5 or 2.3. That's another technology process. It's education. Otherwise, how do you know? How do I know? Nobody knows. Okay, right? However, farmers
like
know.
Purple, it must be good, right?
Right, exactly. You see the thing. The red must be good. No, not really. You have 5 different reds out there based on how you process the red and how big the size of the chip, how much energy able to deliver out. So all those things relate to the technology side.
Well, and I know we mentioned this within the grow lights as well, getting back to like the look and the feel and the shape of that chip.
Right.
When we were talking about grow lights, let me see if I can grab it off the
Yeah,
unit
do you have
that
one here?
Of course I have a unit,
Okay,
Alice.
so show people a unit. Okay, you show them a unit over there, and
so
also
this is
show
our small vapor tight unit,
right.
And this one's packed full, and I'll light it up because I can. And then I'm going to take it apart and show people the chips like I did with the UVC because I think that's important.
Okay, so
you
here
can
is
see, this is our red version, right? So this gets back to what Alice was talking about delivering the energy within this and the right spectrum to increase your plant growth.
this red we're using is the highest standard reach the PPE at a 3 level,
so that's
which is the highest level. Okay, so that being said, Leslie going to show you how we process the LED chip. Okay,
because I think that's important.
Right.
Because it's, and I know we went through some of this, I think, at one point somewhere.
Okay.
But
okay.
it goes
Again,
back to
do the comparison between your regular
well,
LED
I think it's
chips.
interesting to see here. So again, you've got your regular LED chip here, right? So I got it. You can see that, right? They're just very basic, very easy to see. Get out of my, there they are. Oh, look at those beauties. Gosh, those are in all our TA tubes. However, when I'm looking at our vapor type product, and specifically looking at the LED chips on this, and I'm going to try and focus in on here, because remember when we lit this up, there was a mix of color. You saw mostly the red through the camera, which is here, but then there was also some white and some blue on there as well. But you'll notice in these chips, there's a different look to them, and I'm going to tilt it on its side, and maybe my camera will capture it. But that's because there's an additional dimple that's on top of these chips, and that's what allows it to get that intensity.
Right, because the chip by
But
itself
the chip structure is completely different
different.
than what you would get in your regular
Correct.
TA2. And I know a lot of guys out there, especially in horticulture lighting, all they're doing is they're taking this guy.
Correct.
They're mixing their phosphor so that they just have a purple or a red based phosphor. They're not taking the actual essence of the LED chip, adding that extra PPE in it so that it can grow.
Right. Again, it's education.
It's crazy.
That's what tell people. That's our job, Leslie. Is through your guys, we exchange idea, we educate the market, we tell people the difference. Because let me tell you this, okay? Between a 3 level, the highest you see on the everyday chips, you're talking about the farmers able to, or you at home able to increase your crop about 25 to 30%.
Exactly.
That's how direct impact for anything to grow. So. Again, you know, technology-wise in today, TCP has ability. I tell you, Leslie, remember to always talk about this.
I'm
so
trying to put this fixture back
manufacturing.
together.
Okay, yeah,
Sorry.
you don't have to
I'll
worry
do
about
that later.
Do that later.
just
But
making sure it
remember,
doesn't fall
the
down.
manufacturing by yourself, if you're capable to manufacture LED chips and you're able to kind of put things together on your own, that really gives TCP a foundation to deliver the technology.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's difficult. Right?
Well, and the fun thing that we can do is, and fun, interesting, unique, whatever you want to call it, innovative, whatever, is the fact that we can manipulate it from start to finish because we have all these components. We have a workshop, we have an R&D center, both here in the US and in China. And that allows us to take, hey, we've got these samples. How can we manipulate them to maximize their potential within an application? Can we take a regular form factor that we're using to sell to a car wash and make it into a high-powered horticulture light at a super affordable price point that's going to work for your everyday, you know, mid-sized grower?
Yeah.
We do. That's what we've got going on. And that's where it comes back to that whole bringing that technology, being able to kind of manipulate, twist it, and make it so that it can actually commercialize. All of this stuff that TCP is doing is stuff that we firmly believe needs to be out there in spaces, whether it's in a small farm, whether it's in a school building because it's the best holistic lighting for children to learn over, whether it's in a nursing home or an Alzheimer's center to kind of help with that everyday regulation of the patients and community members' well-being. Like, we want to be able to help get that out into the marketplace so that people can have a better quality life.
Exactly. Okay, now I went
on a rant.
I'm sorry. I always tell myself a so-called technology new products has 2 different ways. One is brand new. Brand new. Okay? You're talking about holistic, those things are brand new. The second one, if you're really talking about manipulating the lights, is you could using a existing light source, okay? Manipulate your current existing light source, producing a new type of the light bulb.
I love it.
Right? That's another way we deliver the new lighting technology devices, for instance, to the market, right?
Well, it's taking an everyday thing and putting a little twist on it.
Right.
And that's creating a new type of technology that could be super easily adoptable.
Right.
And you know what's fun about this one? It could go anywhere.
Can go anywhere, okay? So
while you find what you want to plug it in, I'm actually going to share a video.
Yeah.
Because this one I don't think we've shown to people.
Okay, so why don't you do that? Then I'm
Let
going
me
to
pull
show
up my
people.
video. Oh, and you've got your single socket in this for that down here. That was hiding. So there's that. And I think the bulb's on the counter.
Yeah.
Let me pull up. Again, these are unreversed.
So wait, before you show the video, okay? But Leslie, before you show the video, we talked about this concept in the past. Okay, hold on.
They can't see it. I just wanted to make sure it was the right one.
Let me talk to you guys this concept. It is, okay? We're talking about the dimming. We're talking about dim to warm, this and that. But in our normal life, is quite often today, number one is we spend a lot of time working at home. I believe this pattern will continue. So in other words, we talked about this early. When you're in the office, we're using 4100K. our brains used to that. The moment you put your body in your mind into that working mode, you all of a sudden you want more likes. Actually, it's not really more likes. You want 4,100K. It's simple as that. Because your brain, your eye get used to this. I'm working right now. On the other hand, when you're home, you don't want that. That's why you take 20 minutes to an hour driving home. You relax yourself, and when you get home, you want to have a warm light at home, right? When you work in the office, you go home, you're able to like your brain was set for both. But what happened now? You never leave home. Okay? So what I will do is 8 o'clock in the morning. I work at home. I dressed up. I take a shower dressed up. Okay, I walk off on my back door. I walk back to the front door. Okay, I tell myself I'm start working.
Have you ever worked from home? Like, no, I don't think you ever have. You work from home all the time.
Right, but I'm not really like have off, really like off. Okay, but I just try to say, I walk out my back door, I come back to the front door, and I knock on my door, my wife opened the door, I said, hi, I come back to work, okay? So now, when my mindset look into that, I use it in the kitchen, let's say, okay? Or I'll be using the dining room, right? When that is done, you know what? I need more lights. Naturally, I tell myself, but you know what? My kitchen lights get too warm. I feel just, I don't know what happened to my hair. I just don't feel it's right, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, there are two colors out there, obviously, right, Leslie? One is for the working color. One
41K.
is for the home color.
24 to 27.
That's one application.
Depends on your house.
Right? Second one, Leslie, you can experience that with me, okay? You know, our parents, our people, when we get together, sometimes they would like to see things a little bit better.
Oh, that's my dad.
Your dad, right?
Yep.
Okay, your dad, okay. They want to see, they want to have high CII. Just try to see things a little bit different.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, you know, we couldn't do that. But however, like I said, if we have the ability to manipulate the regular light source and put multiple light sources into one devices and function in such a way, deliver both. So Leslie, show them the video.
I'm going to show them, and this one is a super homey video. In fact, I was bored on Monday making some dinner, and I was in there, and I'm like, I have these brand new lights in my house, and these are our color flip technology. And here's what you're going to see. You're going to see it go from 27K, flip the switch, turn back on, 41K, 27, 41. And this is at about 50%. Then I knocked it up to 100% of light. But all I'm doing is flipping the switch. I'm not using a remote. I'm not using a fancy tablet. In fact, I don't even know what I did with my cell phone today. It's just a switch on the wall. And this is where it gets into taking something that's so simple, an A19, regular everyday kitchen fixture, and changing it.
It's so cool, right? I tell you,
this is something that we've had as TCP. I mean, I bought my house in 2016, and those were the light bulbs that I replaced in that fixture. So we've had this on the shelf, sitting, waiting, and now I think it's the right time for our color flip.
Okay, it is, because like I said, okay, we spend more time people working at home. If you work in the kitchen, all you have to do is flip,
and that's my dining room at my house.
Flip, okay. You don't have to do anything else. You flip 41, right? When the working is done, you flip again.
Have one of our newer version.
Okay.
And I think we actually did a process improvement on this.
Right.
Because you did something pretty cool. I'm going to do it on here.
Look at here.
And it's screwed into this regular socket that we have, and we're going to use the power strip on and off to turn it on and off. Nothing fancy.
Nothing fancy. Okay.
So there you go.
Okay. Off. Back on. Okay, back up. It's 2700. You see? 41. Is that cool? Right. Actually, this one has two different settings here. We reverse back to 2. It's a warm color.
So now, and then if I leave it on for a while, and then I turn it off, and then I leave it off for a bit.
Right. And memorize it, your last setting.
See, mine didn't have that.
Right. This is new. Look.
This is new and improved.
And remember the last setting.
So I think that's pretty cool. And again, this gets back to taking something and putting a new twist on it to make it more exciting and make it something that really fits the demand of the market. Because when you go through and you're working at home, you're not just gonna replace your lights every time you work remote or, you know, have a meeting overnight or anything like that. You want to have something that's simple, that's easy.
Right.
Or
so
like you're like me and my dad.
it is fun, right? Your dad having dinner, you just flip. Your dad say, "Hey, I need to see more cooler light." Boom, it's there.
I typically cook steak or a beef, and he likes to complain that it's not well done enough for him. So he needs all the light he can to see if it's a little too pink.
So your dad is gone. Boom, you go back again. Isn't that cool, guys?
You've checked the meat?
Right.
Okay.
And each level, if you either 27 or 41,
you can dip.
You can dip it.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? That's what I call manipulation of the light source.
Stuff, and that's just taking it and using some different driver technology within your LED chipsets and figuring out how to best use it.
Okay, so that's what I want to give out today. Okay, we have engineering samples on the way here. So for the first 5 people answer any questions related to technology side, I would like to give you a couple of our engineering samples for the color flip.
You can put them in your dining room and see.
Okay, so just you know, if you're interested in that kind, it's just so fun. It's just using your switch on the wall, flip, done.
Sure, that's fun.
Right, it's really cool. So this is why we took lots of effort into this, using existing technology to combine them together, manipulate whatever it is, and offering a different type of the new technology, so-called, of the products.
So someone just asked, what type of lamps are we going to have our color flip in? And we're starting with A19.
We have actually right now we're doing A19 BRs because we shut everything down lights, okay? And no, the BR30 and the cans, okay? I really want to do the deco because they say no to me, okay? Maybe I'm doing quietly, okay? They say no, but we will see. But eventually, how about this by demand, okay? Tell us what you think should be the full line of the.
But those are the ones that we're starting off with, are the A's, the BRs, and the downlights, because we see this a lot in a home application. And we just find it to be a neat thing. But you know what's neat about this, Alice, is we could put it in almost any product.
Right.
It'd be kind of cool to,
you know, I mean, this is a perfect example. We have other things we're working on too. This is just one example to show you guys how we'll manipulate this thing. So that being said, obviously, last time we talked about control system here. Okay, the other side of the lighting, I think, is a control system. What was the question?
So one of them is, when will these lamps be available, and how soon can I get my hands on a sample of an A19?
Oh, sure. I gave me less than 2 weeks. Okay, I have a samples on the way here. Okay, and you will. Okay.
And then we're working out the packaging and stuff right now, so they'll be commercially available. I don't know if we're going to air freight or not, but late October, early November, somewhere in there.
Okay, exactly. We have everything is ready over there. We just started making and shipping and making the ship right now. Okay, Leslie just have to come out a pretty box for me.
Yeah,
okay, right?
I think they're working on it. We made a logo, so
make a logo for
Logo's
that.
Done.
You see what I mean? Just fun stuff. Obviously, the last one I want to touch this a little bit.
So the other question too is, if it remembers the last color and it's dimmed like 50%, and you saw that in the video too.
Yes.
If it's dimmed at like 50 or 25% or whatever, it actually remembers that color setting.
Correct.
When you flip the switch back on. So not only does it remember the color, but it remembers like the lumens that you had it at. And then someone else asked, would that be something that you'd want to put in your porch light? And there's no reason why you can't. I mean, it's going to be damp location rated, so you could put it outdoors in an enclosed fixture.
Or let's say this, guys. Since we have a we call color flip, right? Right now we do 41 and 27 just for office work and homework. We can do other color flip. We can do 5,000.
I don't want to go too crazy.
I know. I'm just saying that. Right now we have a 41, 27. Then we have others too. Okay, right.
We can, and I think it'd be neat. I mean, especially if you want to have like a warm, nice holiday glow. Then you want that 27K, but let's say you want a lot of light because you're gonna have people coming over, so you want something a little brighter so they can definitely find your house. Definitely.
Exactly. Okay. So the next thing we talked about this last time, which is the control system.
Oh, smart stuff.
Okay, the smart stuff. So right now, Leslie is so excited. She is giving away all the smart box, right?
Yes, the retrofit cam will be available.
Right, retrofit will be, right, Leslie. You give all those smart box, all the panels, and so if you're you see, smart box like we talked about last time is people have to use it, enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that's our job, okay?
Touch it, feel it, light it up. That's
Right,
what we do
and
best.
light up, as simple as that. So
Right. So-
that's the panels we're talking about.
Again,
Leslie.
this is super simple. You can add it into your existing driver. You just put your through wiring there. You use one of the knockouts. You clip it in place, and then you just connect your colors. And we're going to do a lot of pre-wiring and installing on this guy as we get started. So definitely want to have that.
Yes.
Available. But then once it's installed in the panel, it's super simple. It uses Bluetooth mesh technology to find the smart box in your ceiling, and then you can connect up to 100 panels in a group. And we've not load tested it completely because we can't hook it up to enough ceiling fixtures. But you can do hundreds of fixtures.
Can I tell them what I'm working on it?
What are you working at? No.
Okay. No. Okay.
No.
Leslie said no.
No.
So, no.
Ooh,
So
we've got all kinds of great comments. I love this. So, I mean, and they're still on Color Flip, Alice.
Oh,
they're
okay.
talking about how it would be great in a dining room,
Right. Oh,
great
yeah,
in your kitchen.
it is,
Good
it
for
is.
doing homeschooling. So
You
like
know,
you're schooling, you're
exactly.
eating,
If
you're
you're
working,
doing the
you're-
school homeschooling,
Exactly,
the classroom should be 4,100. Boom, 4,100. The school is done, right? Go back to 27.
Yeah.
It's just such a simple thing. It's just so cool. It's just so cool. You know what I mean?
It's really,
So
really cool.
this we talk about technology. Remember, technology has two different ways. One is real chip, high tech stuff, bring to the reality of our lighting life. That's one thing we're talking about. Statistic is on one side. The other side, we're using current technology. We produce another thing we call color flips, right?
Yeah, that's
so,
like our color flip, and we've got
so
other stuff. That's just
do you
new.
agree? Statistic on the one side,
Yeah.
color flips on the other side.
Sure.
Okay?
I would say
That's
that.
where we kind of give you a final
And then
thought.
I'd almost say like smart stuff's in the middle.
Smart stuff's in the middle.
Smart stuff's in the middle.
Okay. Okay. So let's just keep talking.
Yeah, that's a cool idea that Angela just put in.
Right.
Her question was like, could you do the same thing with your color flip except for plants? So you have like one for winter color to get them started, and then you flip it. So
Of course.
could do something like
Isn't
that.
that
in
cool?
a basic fixture.
Simple switch. Okay. So that being said, guys, please engage with us. I hope you
I
enjoy
love
what
this.
we're
I
talking
love
about
the
it today.
questions.
Right.
Nikki, did you catch all the
Exactly.
people
I
for
did.
people that are going to get some
Right.
engineering samples?
Yes.
Also,
So we'll be reaching out to you. I think those are on their way to us. We should receive them in this week, maybe early next week. China is on holiday.
yeah, again, you know, we don't only have two brains here, okay?
We got a lot of brain.
No,
Well,
we're
Paul's here
four,
too.
three. Nikki, we don't have four brains here, okay? You guys need to help us here, okay?
We love it.
You out there, you have your own thoughts, you have your own experience, you have your own applications, you have your own imagination. If you
Absolutely.
can tell us your imagination is about it, let's see if we can make the imagination into reality. That's called technology.
And that's what's really cool about what we do here at TCP, because we control the whole process. If you come to us with an idea or something or an application, or like, hey, you know, the horticulture mix, let's see if we can make it
Okay.
work. You know.
Somebody has, can we do the statistic or color flips? Yes.
Yes. Again,
Now you
chip
combine two
technology,
things
driver
together.
technology, put it all together, and you've got a super lamp.
Superman. Here we
But
go.
again, and that's the whole point of this Let's Talk Lighting series.
Correct.
It's to have fun like this and engage, and not just, you know, this is very serious stuff. It's to have these conversations and open up about, you know, peek behind the curtain as far as TCP and what we're doing here and how we engage and how our factories work and our communication and all of that, and have you learn more about new technologies and new innovations from our company. So, and just have a better understanding of us. So we hope that you
Absolutely.
engage with us. Hopefully you're getting the thank you notices, and as you register for new Let's Talk Lighting sessions, you'll notice that there's kind of a gap after, I think it's the 9th or 10th of October, 12th of October. And that's because we want to hear from you. We'd love for you to be a panelist. We'd love to speak about a topic that you're interested in. A lot of people expressed interest in UVC, so we're definitely going to make a session about that. But definitely reach out, engage. We'd love to, you know, hey, if you've got something, you know, let us know.
Let us know. Okay. So sounds really good. Thank you. And
We hope to see you tomorrow. We're going to talk manufacturing tomorrow. So
Correct.
tomorrow's going to be a peek behind the curtain. We've got some video live from our manufacturing floor. I think we might even walk out and show our U.S. assembly. I mean, I've got all kinds of things up the sleeves for
Right.
tomorrow.
sounds good.
So Thank you, everybody.
See you tomorrow.
Oh, and we're not going to be here Friday.
Right.
That's another thing.
We need to take a
We're
day
taking
off.
a day off.
Take day off Friday
It's been
because
100 million days since
I
we've been
know
doing these.
since April. I mean, since April. So
Yeah.
you know, I know. I mean, when they need a
tired.
day off, we're a little bit tired. So we're going to take the day off
We're taking Friday
after
off.
4 months.
We're taking Friday off.
Well, no, 5 months.
5 months? It's
Okay.
been 5 months straight where we've done
I
these.
know.
Fun
Okay,
months.
sounds good, guys. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
Bye now.